Hello everybody and welcome to round 7 of the WDCR SCCA Virtual Racing League. My name is Daniel Zippy Salmon and joining me in the booth today, the one and only Mr. Rob Campbell. Rob, it's going to be an absolute belter of a track here. I hear some of the guys a little bit of a Marmite experience here with Detroit Belle. Certainly, it's definitely not on my Princess approved list. I don't know about yourself, but definitely an interesting venue to be at nonetheless.
Yeah, Zippy, it's it's now the defunct Detroit Belle circuit as they've moved to the downtown Detroit street circuit the last year or two. But Detroit Belle, I've always been a fan of the street circuit, so Detroit holds a little bit of a special place in my heart. Detroit, Long Beach, Chicago. I know people hate Chicago, but I like all those street circuits, Zippy. So looking forward to this one here tonight. Not a whole lot of room to make passes, so our drivers are going to have to choose wisely when to make a move. And I suspect with the races we've seen so far that the skill level should rise to the top.
Well, I am certainly inclined to agree there. Certainly Chicago, I'd be wanting to go more for the destination than the racetrack they have to offer. But ladies and gentlemen, let's take a quick look at the championship standings. And it has indeed gotten actually surprisingly close with DJ Alessandrini there at the top. With a commanding lead of 100 points. But Andrew Pilota and Colin Della incredibly close. Just 7 points in it for P2 and P3 respectively. And then another battle there for P4 and P5 is between Michael Montello and Ken Housel as well. Further throughout the field, 6th place, there's a battle. Ryan Carlisle, Mike Leader, and Kevin Zhu, all very close together. Multiple battles happening throughout the field. As you can see there, looks like 14th place, Marcus Pine and Chris Harp tied on 33 points. Absolutely incredible. And then something that I know particularly that Ken is fond of, you look down, look at all the people that we've had here on Pit Road Productions and WDCR. 45 different drivers, ladies and gentlemen. Absolutely incredible turnout here.
Yeah, it's nice to see. It looks like we've got actually a tight battle from 2nd all the way to 5th in that one, Zippy. Only separated by 12 points. So all those drivers we see near the front of the pack. So they'll be battling not only for position on track, but for as many championship points as they can garner here tonight.
Well, certainly that is exactly what they're going to want to be doing, ladies and gentlemen, to score as many points as possible. As right now we are in qualifying, and that means we're taking a quick look here at DJ Alessandrini. He's currently the car we're going to have on board. And Rob, we're going to get ready to do a little bit of a lap guide in just a second here, as I believe the start finish is just a couple of corners away.
Yeah, it looks like he's heading through the kind of midsection of the track here. So heading into the fountain turn. So we got a few more corners before we send him up to the start-finish line here. But short little lap around Detroit Belle. Looks like they're doing 139. So far as our pole sitter, Dylan Newhart. I think that's a new name, Zippy. I can't remember seeing Dylan's name all throughout the season so far. Has he been here at all?
I think he was in the chat last week, actually. He missed it for some reason, but I've definitely seen the name before, but it's certainly good to see him in here. And then not only that, he's currently sitting at the top of the food chain, ladies and gentlemen. He's there in P1, as it looks like we're about to get ready to go for a flying, yet again, the typical Pit Road Productions approach, ladies and gentlemen, as DJ Alessandrini resets the pits. Let's find another contestant for that hot lap. Let's even maybe see if we can find Dylan here. There you go, Rob.
Yeah,
I think that's pretty much the start. Do the honors, sir.
Perfect. Dylan's going to head into turn 1 and 2. It's almost flat out, depending on the car you're driving. The M2s here tonight, they're going to have to do a little bit of a lift through turn 2 and 3 there. So first real great overtaking opportunity here is if you're heading down the first stretch. It's probably one of your only real overtaking opportunities. Try and late brake, dive into deep into the corner there. Try and make it in around to the inside. We see Dylan getting set up far on the left, trying to utilize as much of the track width as you can use. These drivers have to be not afraid to knock a couple mirrors off the side of the car. Out here tonight, you want to use up all the track that you can. I actually had a coach a number of years ago when I was first learning the Long Beach track, Zippy, who actually told me, he said, if you're driving GT4 on a street circuit, you better not come back with any mirrors to the left on the car. Try and use up all the width that you can. So see if any of our drivers are able to do that tonight. But next real challenging overtaking position there as we see Dylan moving into they used to call it the fountain turn. I can't really see it on iRacing, but there is a fountain out there somewhere on the other side of the grandstands. But this is going to be a single file area through here all the way up to the start finish line. No real overtaking opportunities unless somebody has a little bit of a mistake. There is a bump on the exit of that last corner that Dylan just went through. So easy to get the cars unsettled if being pressured from behind. So we might see a driver or two get a little loose there, and hopefully we can see a little bit of action out of there. As we see Dylan rubbing the wall, as I mentioned, you use up all the width that you can out there, but you still got the mirrors on there. It's not quite rubbing it enough, Zippy, but there he goes across the line. That's a quick little lap here at Detroit, Belle Isle.
Well, I've got to say, what an interesting paint as well. And certainly me and Rob, both talented at breaking mirrors. Rob does it with pushing the track limits myself just by purely looking at them, ladies and gentlemen. Certainly, it's fair to say that I've not had much good luck in my time. But certainly it's good to see Ken Housel making a return as well. We did give him a little bit of a hard time for missing an event recently, and certainly it's good to see him back. Colin Denner, again, back here in full force. Anthony Montello as well, both him and his brother there. Right now, actually, Michael Montello yet to post qualifying time. I have a suspicion that maybe getting a little bit too familiar with those walls. You can see they're incredibly toast, maybe an inch in it or about 25 millimeters if you're of the metric variety, ladies and gentlemen. But right now, absolutely beautiful paint job here. As we can see, quite a few regulars. Actually seen a couple of new names potentially as well. I can't say that I recognize this name, Felix Borodati. Interesting to see some new talent here in WDCR.
Yeah, you mentioned earlier the vast wealth of drivers that we've had. I think what you said, about 45. So it's good to see that number growing even further here, Zippy. That's what we like to see each week. So hopefully some of these new drivers will stick around for the remainder of the season. I'm sure Ken Housel, the chief admin of the league, enjoys seeing that too as well. But I just looked at the timing and scoring. Looked like Ken has just jumped his way up into P2. So looking to be a strong contender here tonight with only 7 100ths back of Dylan Newhart. Colin Denner another 2/10ths back. But we see DJ Alessandrini hopping up to where we normally see him atop of the standings now.
Well, there's definitely no surprises there from DJ. But speaking of surprises, ladies and gentlemen, here's one which is not a surprise. Let's talk about our sponsors today, and we're going to start this time. We're going to mix it up a little bit. We'll go for Radial Tire Company, and since 1976, Radial Tire Company has been providing the Washington DC area with quality tires and the finest service. They have earned a reputation as a premier specialist in hard-to-find performance tire and wheel applications. They stock tires from all over the top manufacturers for whatever you drive, from small economy cars to SUVs and trucks. Their mission is to assist you in getting the most out of your tires and your car.
Yeah, and we also have OG Racing. OG Racing carries what you need to get on the track, from driving suits and shoes to helmets and data and video systems. Your favorite brake pads, from Performance Friction, Hawk, and Pagid. OG Racing has built its reputation over the last 22 years by providing the best customer service in the motorsports business. Their depth of inventory is second to none, and when it comes to safety equipment, that's what they've been the highest volume Sparco distributor for 17 years. It's not just on their website, it's also at their Sterling, Virginia 12,000 square foot warehouse. That's OG Racing.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'm pretty sure Rob knows what's coming next. And yes, indeed, it is the Belmont Classic Cars. And I'm having a quick peek through again. And what takes my fancy today? Well, definitely a good variety to choose from if you're really looking for the classic car market. But for myself, it's got to be that 1972 Chevrolet Malibu Chevelle. Definitely, I'd fair to say I'm not super inclined on the muscle cars, but that beautiful blue with the white stripes is absolutely gorgeous. Priced at just $44,900 with an automatic transmission and an absolutely stonking 454 in it. I would definitely be wanting to drive that thing. It's going to be the kind of car that I would say was going to appreciate in value. Certainly, with all this, electric vehicles and all that nonsense that, we don't generally get into here at Pit Road Productions. But certainly, if you're looking for a car, it may be worth checking them out. That's, ladies and gentlemen, Belmont Classic Cars.
Yeah, and our final sponsor is RP Performance. They're located in the heart of racing at Summit Point's Gasoline Alley. RP is the only premier car shop that specializes in both street and track Mazdas. RP Performance is known for its help in all attitude and works at getting cars back on track for a positive experience at all Summit Point events. In its 30 years, RP has accrued many wins and championships with various classes and with all age of drivers under the RP Performance banner. In addition to track and support transport, RP is a full-service service shop, helping drivers with their individual racing and other track event needs. You can find them at 103 Gasoline Alley, Unit 12, Summit Point, West Virginia.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, again, a huge thanks to the sponsors who helped make this all very much a possibility here. But let's take a quick peek at some of these drivers here and see exactly who's out and about. I do understand that the helmet cam is already getting a couple of requests, ladies and gentlemen. And Dylan Newhart, he wants us to have a look at his car. So let's actually find him He's not even on track. Dylan, get back on track. If you want us to look at your car, you got to help me out a little bit here. You know, play the game, buddy. I don't really want to replay for that. You'll make it happen, I'm sure.
I think you had the Nick Cage livery tonight, Zippy. I think that's what they're looking for. I think when we had him on screen, it looked like the Nick Cage meme livery.
I'm definitely going to have to get a closer look. It was more of a passing glance at that one. I saw it was something funky, but not enough I could really get a gist of it. But speaking of liveries, you can see here Kevin Zhu rocking the very classical Need for Speed. I'd say it was probably Need for Speed Underground livery here. And absolutely belter of a car. Gotta admit, I'm not quite sure if it really works in the modern interpretation, but certainly it's one of those things where you just kind of, you know, you'd give it the wink and be like, you know, bonk.
Maybe it was Most Wanted. He was trying to evade the police and capture there, Zippy, but definitely not the way he wanted to park that one, backing it into the wall. But Kevin Zhu sitting 8th in the standing so far now in qualifying, so I think he's probably going to be all at a time to put in a lap as we're getting into the final 2 minutes and 15 seconds here. So if our drivers aren't out on a hot lap now, they're going to be falling short relatively quick.
Well, certainly you've got to make it stick on the board, and I do have a feeling that quite a few of these drivers would have indeed given them concrete barriers a little bit of a nudge, more of a gentle bitch slap, perhaps, if it were, you know, just like, you know, affectionate but assertive at the same time. I'm certainly getting that kind of vibe, but it looks like the fenders do appear to be intact on the number 65 car of Michael Montello. Absolutely fantastic camera shot there. No wildlife was harmed in the making of that camera shot, but certainly we killed off a few cameramen during the season, ladies and gentlemen. So, you know, priorities, ladies and gentlemen. We're animal lovers here on Pit Road Productions, but certainly just about a minute and a half left of qualifying. Only a couple of people left on track. Michael Montello being one of them. Will Long, he's out and about. And not only that, I believe DJ Alessandrini looking to try and secure that pole with a little bit more, of a buffer.
Yeah, he's got 2 tenths now, and it's real close between Michael Montello up into second place and Dylan Newhard now. Only separated by about 5 hundredths between the two of them. Ken Housel not too far back, another 10th back, and then Colin Denner another 2 tenths back of them. So top 5 all separated by 5 tenths out there, so real tight qualifying at the start of the at the head of the pack so far, Zippy. So interesting to see how it plays out once it turns green. It's going to be a mad dash down into turn number I believe it's turn number 6, so we'll see how that plays out here shortly.
Well, certainly it's not one of the tracks that I'm there too familiar, and I will apologize for that, but I think I may have figured out an interesting way for us to start learning the track names a little bit better. I'm going to share that with you a little bit later there, Rob, as we see DJ Alessandrini bringing it into the pit. So that's it for his qualifying run. How about this gentleman, though? It's Will Long.
Yeah, Will, we've seen him up and down the last few weeks. He had a nice battle going last week, Zippy, towards the end of the race, but right now sitting in 9th, almost 1 second back of DJ, kind of mid-pack out there right now. So we suspect that he'll be in around the excitement zone, and we see car just ahead of him, the car just behind him. I mention it every week, but always seems to be Kevin Zhu and Ryan Carwile seem to find themselves in around battles all throughout the races, and now the 3 of them are going to be nose to tail at the start. So expect a lot of excitement out of the mid-pack here tonight.
Well, that, ladies and gentlemen, does bring qualifying to an end. Let's take a quick peek at your starting grid. And you can see there, quite a familiar face there at the top. It's DJ Alessandrini. He's there in first with Michael Montello, absolutely belter of a time in there. He's in second with Dylan Newhard in third, with certainly the paint job we're going to have to take a closer look at. Ken Housel, your league admin, is in fourth with Colin Denner in fifth. Anthony Montello, he managed to actually slingshot through the field near the end of that. He's up in sixth with Mike Lader in seventh, Kevin Zhu in eighth, Will Long in ninth, and Ryan Carwile in 10th.
And then we're going to find Adam Kobach in 11th, Reed Shannabrook in 12th, Chris Harp and Louis Alacio make up the row behind them in 13th and 14th, Albert Go in 15th, Felix Boratti, I think that might be a new name as well, in 16th, Eddie Ketkarakis in 17th, John Holloway in 18th, Cameron Guth in 19th, and Jarrett Page going to round out the top 20, and running a shotgun on the field will be Paul Darling at the back.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, certainly Paul Darling, Solpec Precision Racing Esports. I've got a feeling he may know a few people that I know. I may have a lot more talent than I have to offer, ladies and gentlemen. Certainly, whenever I see the name Solpec, I generally see absolutely incredible performance here. But let's take a quick look from the blimp cam, and you can see here actually quite a lot of water. I don't think I've really traveled to Detroit. Don't get me wrong, it's definitely on my bucket list. Like the the home of old muscle cars. Certainly, it's certainly a little bit quieter now than it was maybe 30, 40 years ago. But certainly, it's on the bucket list, Rob. It's one of the places I would like to go. Obviously you've got racetracks I'd like to go to as well, but certainly for a scenic kind of drive, maybe taking a little bit of automotive history in a good way. It's an experience I'd like to take part in.
Well, I've been to Detroit many times, Zippy. It's only about 2 hours from my place, so I can tell you you're honestly not missing a whole lot right now. But Detroit's been down in the dumps for a number of years. It's starting to turn around and come back, but they lost about half their population from what they had from a couple of decades ago and starting to rebuild back now. But yeah, you're going to see lots of water in and around the track here tonight as it's on an island, Grand Belle Island. So plenty of scenery. It's actually, I believe it's a city park, not a state park. I believe it's just a city park. So it's one of the reasons that they actually moved the race from Belle Isle into downtown the last year or so, and going forward is the parks didn't really want to shut down to give up a week worth of tourism for the race anymore, and the track itself is fairly bumpy. Could have used a resurface, so generating extra costs and maintenance and the downtime for tourism kind of forced them to move into the downtown section. But it looks like we got the green flag, and looks like DJ's going to hold on to P1 and lead them into turn 1.
Well, already we have battles happening side by side. It's Dylan Newhart and Michael Montello. You can see Ken Housel there in fourth, looking to try and make a move. Colin Dennett in fifth, and a little bit of an up, down, left, right. Ken Housel trying everything he can to try and get a move and try and slingshot his way up through the field.
Yeah. Oh, looks like Montello's going to try and make a move in on Newhart late in the break, and he's going to miss the turn. He's going to have to go into the runoff area and turn around. That's going to cost him a ton of spots, but fortunately for him, he didn't collect anybody up, and it's just going to be time lost on track. So everybody's going to be able to continue on, but that's not the way Michael Montello wanted to start this one off, no doubt.
Well, it's definitely not the approach he was looking for, ladies and gentlemen. A little bit of cold brakes, perhaps cold tyres, and it certainly sent him for a little bit of a cropper off into the runoff area. But we've got to say, good sportsmanship there from Montello. He realised he wasn't going to make it, and rather than just, try and make it stick, he did the noble thing and just kind of bowed out of that one. But you can see right now, DJ Alessandrini already pulled away a second and a half, ladies and gentlemen. Ken Housel in second. I can already hear a bit of a wall up there. Everybody appears to be in order right now with Ken Housel in second, Dylan Newhart in third, Colin Denner in fourth, and Anthony Montello, the other Montello brother. I know you know which one is which in terms of age, Rob. He's currently resting in fifth.
Yeah, Anthony is the elder Montello, so the older brother's got the leg up on younger brother Michael here so far tonight. But we pick up Reed Shannonbrook in 11th spot, trying to chase down Adam Kobach up ahead. You can see a quick glimpse there of all of our drivers pretty much in single file around here. Not a whole lot of room to go side by side through most of these corners, Zippy, unless you're really going to take a dive into a corner, try and make an overtake maneuver. So we'll see a lot of nose to tail, follow the leader here, unless somebody makes a mistake or you really get a good run on the driver ahead and go for a bit of a lunge is going to be necessary here to try and make a move. But they're moving through turn 2, down the first real short chute into turn 4. This is your real prime overtaking opportunities. we see, I mentioned it earlier that Kevin Zhu and Ryan Carwell find themselves around the action all the time, and there, no doubt, they found it again, Zippy.
Oh, absolutely. Looks like we're going to have a four-way battle between Ryan Carwile, Will Long, Adam Kobach, and Reed Shannonbrook. Right now, it's Shannonbrook on the outside of Adam Kobach. It looks like he's been able to get that done further up through the field. You can see Carwile trying to make a move on the outside there of Will Long. Absolutely fantastic battle. The guys behind, you can see Chris Harp. He certainly wants to score some points today. Tied in the championship with another competitor. As you see, a little bit of a nudge there between Kobach and Shannonbrook, and that has opened the door potentially. Who's that for? It's Albert. Albert has absolutely snuck through as they are almost going in formation here through Detroit.
Yeah, too wide between Albert Go and Adam Kobach. Looks like Albert thought about making a move on the outside.
Oh, there goes Kobach.
The curb and around he goes into the wall. Looks like he fortunately didn't collect anybody up. Just lost his front bumper. Everybody else was able to get slowed up, which is rare at Detroit. You spin like that, usually you're collecting 2-3 cars at any given time. So good to see that everybody was able to negotiate around him. But Louis Lacey, I think, got a little bit of a rub. It doesn't look like he's got any damage on the front end of that car, so he's able to carry on. But that's going to drop Adam Kobach all the way back to 18th from his spot he was holding down in the top 10.
Well, you can see there, oh, that's a big bounce there from Kobach, and he was pogo sticking that car, and look who's right behind him. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Michael Montello looking to try and make a comeback here. You can see Kobach under pressure now, and we have seen these BMWs, they can lose a front bumper and still be a very competitive car, and certainly he's going to have to be competitive to try and stay with Michael Montello. He did qualify absolutely incredibly. Started, I believe it was P2, maybe P3. He's looking to make a dash back through the field. Currently, he's down 16 positions, still a lot to prove, as Kobach is coming to a very, very slow lap right now. Definitely not what he was looking for.
Yeah, we just saw him hammer the wall on the outside of turn 2, so I suspect that car isn't very happy with him. Looks like he's going to pull it off in the runoff and call it a day before he ends up taking anybody out. But Michael Montello is starting to make his way back through the field, as you mentioned, Zippy. Back up into 17th spot, down 15 overall from where he started, but still on the recovery run.
Well, he has got incredible pace right here, but certainly he's going to need to pull out a lot more. Currently, he's about 1.8 seconds behind the next car of Louis Alessi. Now, we did see Alessi get caught up a little bit there with Kobach, so you got to wonder. We'll keep an eye on that gap, see if Alessi can hold off the mighty Michael Montello. But we're going to head up a big back through the field as we see Kevin Zhu now with Mike Leader in hot pursuit.
Yeah, Kevin Zhu up 2 spots into P7. He's got Mike Leader, the not a dentist, on his tailpipe here, trying to chase him down. Mike's still rocking that Listerine paint job. We've seen him from the very start of the league this season, so easy to point him out and find him for us, as it's not too many cars you see out there in mint green Listerine flavor, Zippy, so we pick him up easy on track. But he's trying to put some pressure on the back of Kevin Zhu. That's the battle for 6th right now. Ooh. Looks like last time by, Leader was about 3/10 quicker, so we'll see if he's able to put the pressure on Zhu, take away that spot.
Well, you did see a little bit of fraction happening back here between Jarrett Page and Cameron Goof. Now, if I remember rightly, Cameron Goof is very, very new to iRacing, and I've got to be honest, the challenges that he's faced, certainly not just getting used to this car, but some of the tracks in the rotation, I've got to say, incredibly challenging, and he's had a little bit of a mixed result, but we've got to give a little bit of a shout out as well to Jack Chrissy, who's currently unable to make it here this week. He's not feeling very well, so Jack Chrissy, if you're watching, big feel better soon from us over here at Pit Road Productions.
Yeah, Jack, one of our perennial front runners out here. We hate to see him not out there, but hopefully he'll be back next week feeling a little better. But you see Michael Montello still trying to make his way up through the field. He gets around Holloway now. That's going to move him up into 15th place. Lacey was trying to follow him through, but unfortunately he wasn't able to get around Holloway. Holloway was able to hold him off behind him, but looks like Lacey might have found the inside line now. Not sure whose helmet that was that we picked up, but that was a gem all in itself right there.
Well, I can see here Ryan is absolutely cheering on his teammate and his fellow karting enthusiast in the name of Colin Denner, ladies and gentlemen. Actually, we got to check his helmet out. We do know that these guys are potent, and yep, we got the blue one back again, ladies and gentlemen. I do wonder, were we expecting a new one? We will refresh the paints just to rule it out, ladies and gentlemen. But certainly you can see here, incredible battles happening throughout. And it looks like Albert is going to go at it with Reed Shellenbrook.
Yeah, we pick back up Albert Go in Reed Shellenbrook. That's a battle for 10th spot. We saw Albert Go kind of shuffling around here. We saw him up into the top 10, drop back a little bit. But right now he's battling Shellenbrook for 10th spot. Albert and Go a little slower that lap time by, so Shellenbrook was able to open up the gap as they crossed the start-finish line as we pick back up Louis Alessi and excuse me, John Holloway.
You can see here the pass.
How Alessi got around Holloway, yeah, into turn 1. It's like Holloway realized he was on the outside, just going to build off and let Alessi through.
Yeah, certainly, you know, while it's fun to fight for some positions, you got to weigh up the pros and the cons. And, you know, it looks like Alessi's got an absolutely incredible pace today. He's certainly making his way up through the field a little bit there. Certainly got caught up with Kobach a little bit there earlier. And we did get in the chat that it wasn't just missing the front bumper after that first hit. Thank you very much for Sarah Leff for letting us know that. But right now, we're going to go back on board with Kevin Zhu and Mike Leader. These guys are about half a second apart. As I say that, it looks like Chris Hart may also be chasing Eddie Keterakis as well, back for 12th place. You can see here leader doing everything that he can. He's applying the pressure, not quite able to catch up there to Kevin Zhu, doing trying to really focus on his corner entrances and exits. You can see there Zhu having a little bit of a wiggle there on corner exits. Certainly the M2 can be quite brutal in some ways, trying to put the power down. And actually, Legacy Radio Gaming, how do you participate in this? Well, what you need to do is be part of the WDCR iRacing League. Certainly give us a few minutes. We're going to try and hook you up with that. I don't know if they keep it specific to the region, so forgive me on that, but I'm pretty sure we can point you in the right direction. Ken Housel will be the man to talk to, but leave it with us. We'll certainly try and get you involved in that.
Yeah, definitely. As we're still watching that battle between Mike Leader and Kevin Zhu. It looked like Zhu was able to open up the gap a little bit halfway through that lap, but a couple slower corners that allowed Leader to sneak back in. But we can see not too far ahead is the Elder Montello, Anthony Montello, just up ahead of them in fifth. So if these two work together and choose not to battle and kind of push each other forward, they might be able to catch Montello here shortly, try and take a shot at fifth spot here, Zippy. It looks like they're starting to reel him in a little quicker. I'm not sure if Montello has suffered some damage anywhere around the track, but he's definitely running a little bit of a slower lap here compared to what Zhu and Leader are putting in.
Well, speaking of Montello, it looks like he's going to have a front row seat between the battle going on between Kisfarp and Eddie Keterakis. Now, we did say there was something to keep an eye on just a few short moments ago, and right now you can see Keterakis is going to have to be very careful about where he positions his car. Certainly, Chris Harp has been keen to show his nose in where maybe a little bit opportunistic at times. Generally, a pretty safe race. As you can see there is damage on the front bumper of that car. It looks like Michael Montello looking to try and capitalize on this opportunity as well, with Felix Borodati right behind him, so maybe a four-way fight here for 12th place.
Yeah, I'm going to say it again, Zippy. If you bring your car home without any marks and damage on it here tonight, you weren't pushing hard enough. So we see it looks like Montello making a move inside of Harp. Harp forced out wide. Montello can take that spot. That's going to move him up into 13th. So he's got a strong recovery run going here after his early race kind of venture into the runoff section. So got himself up into 13th place. Next on his hit list is Eddie Keterakis. We'll see if Michael Montello is able to chase him down in short order. To see just through that corner alone, he closed about 2 or 3 tenths, but quickly dropping Chris Harp and Felix Borodati off the back bumper.
Well, it looks like Montello is looking to make a move again as he's gone. He's put a nose out, and this time it's against the number 3 car of Eddie Keterakis. And yep, absolutely slam dunks that pass using all of the runoff there without actually touching the wall, which actually I'm surprised. I can imagine a few of these guys would certainly be wanting to graze that. Definitely aggression in good moderation here at WDCR, but certainly Michael Montello looking to try and make a recovery. He's managed to move back about 6 positions back up, but is currently still resting 10 positions down overall. Actually, as we have a look at the hard charge here, ladies and gentlemen, Eddie Keterakis currently holding on to that with 4 positions gained, but is Chris Harp going to be looking to take one of those back?
Yeah, it looks like we just caught it out of a little bit of the camera shot where it looks like Keterakis got a little squirrely exiting into one of the corners, had to gather the car up. That allowed Harp to close that gap. Harp looking to the inside, but I think Keterakis is going to have the inside of the next couple corners, should be able to fend off Harp as he does. But that spot brought Borodati into this battle now. A 3-car battle for 13th place.
But you can see here, Felix Borodati absolutely... Yeah, that definitely looked like a little bit of a shunt, that one. And you can see here why the 462 car has a damaged bumper. Ladies and gentlemen, he's certainly showing his enthusiasm for get a damn move on. You can see here, incredibly close. And has he managed to make it go? He certainly managed to get it there alongside. A little bit of a send. Are we going to see free wide here from the number 56 of Felix Borodati? He's certainly looking to put a nose in. Can he get it done? Harp, Eddie Keterakis and Borodati all going for the same piece of asphalt.
Oh, what a battle. We see them using up all the track and then some. Harp routinely bashing off the outside wall. He finally going to make that move stick around Keterakis. Now Borodati going to try and take advantage of Keterakis now too as well. He's going to have the inside into turn 4. He might actually even have a go at Harp too as well late on the brakes. I think he's going to make it, Zippy. 2 cars in one shot. And then he loses the back end. That was almost the move of the day right there by Felix Borodati, but it all went from cheers to tears very quickly.
Well, I was about to say you buy one, you get one free, but that wasn't quite the case. You can see there as he went over the curve, it just unsettled him, and he definitely had a little bit of a helping hand as he went round. But certainly, I think it was already the car was already going to have a little bit of an artistic moment at that point. Maybe a little bit of damage there, but certainly a little bit of a shame there for the 56. He was having a very good run. You can see Adam Kovac right behind him, so he could indeed be back on for a battle. But let's check in very quickly. DJ Alessandrini currently at the front of the field, ladies and gentlemen, pulled away about a 3.6 second gap right now. Ken Housel in second, he's in clean air. Dylan Newhart, he's in third with Colin Denner about half a second behind.
Yeah, it looks like we got a nice little battle between Denner and Newhart shaping up here. We might have to take some points away from Denner for reusing the same helmet from last week. I think we were promised a new helmet this week by his brother Ryan, and we're definitely going to have to deduct some championship points away from that. But Denner is closing in on Newhart there. We should see a battle quickly brewing from there. But as we see Borodati and Kobach able to get around Borodati. Looks like Kobach dropped into the pits. He's got that spare car out now, and he's got the front bumper back in place. So we'll see if he's able to move back up to the field. But Borodati, so he just kind of bailed on it, knowing that Kobach had a little more pace. He started more towards the front of the field to try and tuck him behind him, and hopefully he just pulls him up towards the front.
Well, certainly it was not going, it was going very well even for Borodati, but then it sadly ended up meeting at a bit of an untimely end. It does look like there's maybe a little bit of damage on that car, but not a lot. I think he may have got away with it for the most part. Certainly Adam Kovac having to take that little bit of a drive through the pits, but right now there is a couple of battles going on, and right now Mike Leader, ladies and gentlemen, he's got Will Long applying a good portion of pressure there. Can he make it up to P7 though, currently resting in P8?
Yeah, Leader was the dog trying to chase the rabbit earlier of Kevin Zhu, and now he's having to fend off Will Long and behind him. But looks like we got a bit of a four-car battle here as Anthony Montello, who we saw just ahead of them earlier when Zhu and Leader were battling, looks like they finally caught him up, and they got a little bit of a four-car train here from 5th all the way back to 8th with Will Long. Look, that's a sharp-looking helmet there that Will Long's sporting here tonight. I gave him 2 thumbs up for that one. It's not the meme-worthy of the other helmets, but it's definitely got the artistic feel there tonight.
Well, certainly it's got vibrance, ladies and gentlemen. We're just taking a look at the helmet cam, and we do have Ryan there saying I wasn't there to remind him. And yep, Ryan, honestly on that one, you let us down. We wanted a helmet cam, we delivered. Where's your part, buddy? And I mean that in the sweetest of ways. It's banter, it's affectionate. Well, maybe not affectionate, but you know, take it where you can get it, I guess. I mean, that's certainly my life story at the minute. But let's have a quick look back here, because it looks like Michael Montello is looking to make a move yet again, this time on Chris Harp in the 462.
Is that Chris Harp or is it Albert and Go? I think that was Albert that he just got
right,
around there. So he's moved up into just outside of the top 10 now. So I haven't had a look at the timing and scoring, but I suspect that Michael Montello probably putting in some of the hottest laps out there right now, Zippy. But next up on his hit list is Reed Shanbrook, who's not too far ahead, only about a second or so up the track. So I suspect at this pace, we should see Michael Montello chase him down fairly quickly. And then he'll have himself firmly supplanted back in the top 10. But he's got a little ways to go before he finds that battle that we saw earlier between Montello, Zhu, Leader, and Long, which would get him possibly up into the top 5. But Shanbrook now going to be driving with a little bit of focus on the rear view mirrors, a little less focus at the front windshield, trying to keep Montello behind him as long as he can.
Well, you see there that graphic at the bottom of your screen, ladies and gentlemen. All that green there for Montello, that's all big chunks he's been taking off of Shannonbrook. So certainly, you know, Shannonbrook's going to have to do his best to hold on, using as much of the track as he possibly can. Both of the cars there going through that little corner, getting a little bit squirrely there. Certainly, you know, and I've got Jason Road in the chat saying, talk about recovery drive from Montello. I've got to say, I absolutely agree. And certainly, sometimes it's actually a lot more fun to try and make your way through the field if you've got the talent. Certainly myself, 0 qualifying pace, but I did actually get hard charger in my own league race at the weekend.
Were you the only driver in the race though, Zippy?
No, because then you couldn't get the hard charger. Good try though.
We might have to bring in the whole Formula One driver of the day voting stats here to see who gets the votes. But as we see Montello making a move around Shannonbrook now, trying to get himself back into the top 10. Looks like Shannonbrook's going to bail out. He's going to give that one to Montello. That's going to move Montello back up into the top 10. He's got a ways to go to find Ryan Carwile, a little over 11 seconds up the track. So it'll be a while before we see Montello trying to make a move on another driver, but we're past the halfway mark, so he might be facing the clock as more of an enemy than the cars on track.
Well, it does look like we've got two battles emerging up here, and this one's going to be between Mike Leader and Will Long, trying to merge two names there, ladies and gentlemen. And also we've got a battle here between the other Montello brother, and it's Anthony Montello versus Kevin Zhu. Both of these drivers have all kind of accumulated together, and Zhu has actually been starting to reel in Anthony Montello as well. And Leader, the whole pack generally starting to consolidate a little bit here. You can see Ryan Carwile just sneaking in the background. He's about 3 seconds back, but I do wonder, are we going to get a four-way fight here for 5th place?
It's shaping up, Zippy. I suspect that we'll see it. Looks like Leader and Zhu have had a little more pace than Montello the last few laps, so it's only a matter of time before they're hot on the tailpipe. So it's real easy to focus on the cars behind you here, and the next thing you know, you're rubbing one of the walls as we see a little bit of varying line through turn 1 and turn 2. Neither driver really pushing out as far as they can into the right side wall, leaving a little bit of speed on the lap there. See if Zhu makes a dive, late dive into turn 4. Not quite close enough to make a move here now. Montello's going to hold on to that spot for now, but as they head into the infield section for the first time by with this close on the back for Kevin Zhu, he's going to be trying to force mistake from Anthony Montello, but right now Anthony looking real strong, making that car as wide as he can, trying to offer no opportunities for Kevin Zhu to stick his nose up in the inside and try and move him out of the way.
Well, that is exactly the same story that's happening right behind, with this time Mike Leader looking to try and make a contention here. What's happening there? I think Will Long having Will Long definitely having a little bit of a connection issue there. Leader is not a fan, and certainly worrying a little bit there about what's going on. Certainly it's hard to position the car if the one in front of you is flashing. And ladies and gentlemen, I don't mean that they're kind of, lifting their shirt and doing anything of that kind of nature. Don't get me wrong. I don't know if I'd want to be seen Will Long personally do that. I mean, whatever floats your boat, it's just not going to float mine. But certainly you can see here, Mike Leader, not the dentist, currently resting in 8th place.
Yeah, not only do you get unsettled by that car blinking out in front of you, Zippy, but you lose any draft from that car too as well. So as we saw, it looks like Will Long and Mike Leader, for Leader having to back off a little bit, not knowing where Long was going to teleport back into the track. They lost a little bit of time from that battle up ahead between Montello and Zhu as we're back on board with Denner. He's trying to chase down Dylan Newhart up ahead. Looks like Ken Housel not too far ahead of them. If these two can work together, they might be able to chase down Ken Housel, but looks like Denner wants to try and get around him.
On the
He's
inside.
Dive down into him and turn 4. Oh, no. It's going to go off with a runoff. Keeps it off the wall, but unfortunately, just like Michael Montello earlier, he's going to have to Austin Powers 10-point turn this one to get back on track.
He really is going to have to 10-point turn. So it was all going through very well for him. He was a bit of a hero, and now he's back down all the way in P9. Ryan Carwile pulling away, but there's quite a big gap, actually, about 25 seconds back to his next nearest competitor, and that's going to be Michael Montello. See there, the tires maybe carrying a little bit of extra heat here. Let's actually take a quick look at the weather here, Rob, to see how exactly hot is this track, and actually not that bad. 27 degrees Celsius track temp. Don't ask me what that is in Fahrenheit, but fair to say moderately warm.
Low 80s, low mid 80s. So relatively peachy for a racer. Zippy. Can't really ask for much better track temps here than what they got. But as we look back on the battle between Montello, Zhu, Long, and Leader, they've all kind of concertine to back up together again. Montello could possibly be a little bit of the cork in the bottle at this point in time, but with Detroit being the layout that is, the style of track that is, with being a tight street circuit, not really any room for Zhu to make a move around him unless he can get real tight on the back bumper and get a run through the turn 3-4 straightaway.
Well, he's certainly going to need to be courageous, and then not only that, he's going to need to make sure he can make that move stick, as we see Kevin Zhu here getting ever closer to the back of the 268 car of Anthony Montello. At this point, Zhu must be pretty sick of looking at it, but certainly he can't get too comfortable because right behind him is the 87 of Will Long, and that is incredibly close there. I thought there was going to be contact. Will Long backs it up, and is this exactly what Mike Leader needed? Is Mike Leader now going to try and get an opportunity here to make a pass?
I'm not sure, but I think we're going to see a move from Kevin Zhu here into turn 4. He's going to have to go around the outside, though. Montello sticking tight to the inside, going to try and force Zhu around the outside. If he might make that pass, Will Long going to try and take advantage of Zhu. So he's got the inside for the next corner. Let's see if he's able to pull it off. Zhu going to try and fight back on the outside. If he can stay side by side, he'll have the advantage for the next corner. Zhu is going to hold on to that spot. Will Long's going to have to back off. Mike Leader senses an opportunity to stick his nose in there, but Will Long blinks out again. That's got to be unsettling to Leader in behind.
Well, certainly it can make it a little bit awkward right now, but certainly there is an absolutely epic battle starting at 4th place. Anthony Montello able to hold on to it. Kevin Zhu surprisingly able to hold on to that. I thought Will Long was going to absolutely take it and run away with it and maybe have a crack at the 268 of Anthony Montello, but certainly these guys, despite a few attempts, they've not been able to make the position stick. So certainly as we're closing down for the last 7 minutes of this race, you know, time is running out. If these guys want to move up through the field, they're going to really have to start pushing.
Yeah, a lot of these corners, left hand turn leads into a right hand. So if you can stay side by side with the car that's trying to take and make an overtake on you, you can kind of take advantage of the next corner having the inside line, which we just saw happen there between Zhu and Montello, and then again with Zhu and Long. So real hard to make a pass here, Zippy. As I said, really your opportunity is between the turn 3 and 4 and that straight where we saw Zhu having to try and go around the outside. Montello was able to hold him off, but as Montello opens up a bit of a gap, we see Zhu and Long able to reel him back in quickly. So I think if they can get around Anthony Montello at this point in time, they might be able to open up a bit of a gap between he and themselves.
See Mike Leader making a little bit of a nudge there with the wall, and looks like these cars, for lack of better words, they take a good amount of beating. As you can see back there, it's Colin Denner, and he's looking to try and make a recovery, and his first car on the list is going to be Ryan Carwell. Now, Ryan Carwell, we have seen, he's not the fastest person on the grid, but certainly when it comes to putting the elbows out, it's like he's got 4 of them, ladies and gentlemen. Certainly, it is not going to be easy for Denner to make a pass, not only because of the track layout, but also because Carwell, an incredible defensive machine behind the wheel of this BMW M2.
Yeah, we've seen Carwell get his elbows, knees, and butt out relatively frequently, Zippy. So we'll see Denner try and make a move on him. I suspect Denner's got a little more pace. He should be able to make this pass. And then we might see him up in that battle just ahead of him, but just over 5 minutes to go. He might be running out of time to get back into the battle for P5, but Denner did well to keep the car off the wall. Unfortunately, he suffered a loss of about 5 or 6 spots, and he's going to run out of time to try and recoup those losses.
But certainly he's going to have to try and do the recovery drive as well. Not quite got the same kind of time as Michael Montello did, but look how incredibly close he was to the wall there. Certainly doing everything he can. He's just 0.3 of a second behind the 71 car of Carwell. Is he going to be able to make it done? Now, there's only so much time available. He got just under 5 minutes left of this race. He's got to make sure he gets the move done, and not only that, not get a little bit too ambitious there and potentially have another runoff into the slipstream.
Yeah, they cross the line, head into turn 1, so we'll see. It looks like Denner should be close enough to make a move into turn 4 if he can get a nice run out of turn 3 here. Using up all the track he can. Looks like he's going to have a little more top end speed than Carwell here. He's sticking the nose up the front. He's going to have to go around the outside, but I think Denner should be able to make this stick into turn 4.
Well, it looks like Denner's certainly trying to do exactly that. And for a second there, I thought they was going to maybe have a little bit of contact, but Denner does manage to make his way past. And the good news for him is, yes, they're right, that moves him back up a position, currently 3 down from where he started. But it does mean, however, that he's still about 2.9 seconds behind Mike Leader, who's this gentleman up here. But let's have a quick look as Anthony Montello has got Kevin Zhu almost up his exhaust pipe at this point. That gap getting ever closer still.
Yeah, Zhu putting a lot of pressure. He's going to try and make a move into, I believe this is turn 8 right now. You don't see a whole lot of overtaking here. It's really a little bit of an off camber, easy to hit the wall. Oh, Zhu's going to go wide. That's going to allow Will Long to take that spot. Mike Leader trying to take advantage too as well. Zhu able to get back ahead of him, but not the way he wanted that move to come off, Zippy.
That's definitely not what he had in mind, and certainly Mike Leader's looking to try and make a move on Zhu now. You know, he's got the car line up in front of him. The crosshair is there. The thing's beeping saying you have target locked. He's just got to pull the trigger and make that pass. Certainly, as he's trying to go around here through Detroit, pushing wide. We've seen the odd little nudge there, able to keep it off the walls, but certainly absolutely flirting with the throttle at this point, trying to make a move up through the grid.
Yeah, time is the enemy now for Mike Leader. We've seen him battling Will Long for a few laps now, but fortunately he's going to have to try and contend with Kevin Zhu. We saw with a little bit of pace, putting a lot of pressure on Anthony Montello. Now it's up to Will Long to put that pressure on Montello. Now looks he's tucked up on the back of Montello's bumper. We'll be able to see if Long, with a couple laps to go in this one, if he's able to find a way around Montello. But we see Denner getting ever so closer in the background there. If something were to happen amongst these 4 cars ahead, he could be there to pip off some spots very quickly.
Well, I have got to wonder as well, is Will Long going to make the move on Anthony Montello? Certainly we saw Kevin Zhu try to have a go. As you see a little bit of a nudge there from the wall as they're going around this right-hander, and you see absolutely fantastic exit there from Montello. Got the power down, a little bit of a squirrel there on the end, and you can see him absolutely trying everything he can to try and keep the 243 behind him. Mike Leader and co, they're falling back a little bit now. That gap is about 0.8 of a second.
Yeah, Leader falling back a little bit, but Zoo starting to close that gap back up on Long. But as we pick up Eddie Kekarakis and Louis Lacey, Lacey's going to make a move around the inside of Kekarakis. That's going to move him up into 14th place and drop Kekarakis back into 15th.
Well, those guys had been going at it. That's one way of celebrating there from Louis Alessi, but certainly these guys have been going at it for a little while. It was a bit of a slow burn, but it looks like Eddie Kekarakis looking to try and make a fight back there. Not quite able to get it done, as we were going to stay with this battle just for another couple of minutes there. See if Kekarakis can take that move back. He's currently up 2 positions, ladies and gentlemen. Actually, the hard charger right now is Will Long. He's up 4 positions overall.
Yeah, nice run for Will Long. I'm sure he would like to try and take one more spot away from Anthony Montello if he can, but Montello doing well to hold him back. We'll see if he's able to do it, but I think we're probably down to about the last lap or so here, Zippy. So last chance for him to try and make a move as they head into turn 3 and 4. But looks like Zoo's back on the back of Long, ready to battle here. You needed a 3-car battle here towards the end of the race here for 4th place, Zippy.
Well, it's going to be incredibly close. Look how close he was to that wall, actually. That's Will Long, and you see Zhu there. If he gets any closer, don't get me wrong, the BMW has a bit of a shark fin snout, and at this point, I don't know what sense of smell is, but certainly it's close enough to get a good sniff, ladies and gentlemen. Almost like a bit of a nutcracker meme at that point. That's exactly how close he was. But Anthony Montello able to hold on, at least for the moment. He's up 2 positions overall. Alessandrini and Dylan Newhart staying fixed where they were at. So was Mike Leader. So certainly battles happening throughout the field. Just those guys are able to stay consistent throughout the race tonight. But it looks like right now, this is going to be where all the action is going to occur, ladies and gentlemen. See a little bit of a wiggle there from Montello. Will Long doing everything he can. Leader looking to try and move in, as is Colin Denner.
Yeah, we're turning into a 5-car battle here quickly for this spot. Montello doing everything he can to make that car as wide as possible, not give Long any opportunity to try and make a maneuver around. So we got 1 more lap to go, Zippy, I suspect, as the cars are heading to the line now. Looks like I don't see the checkered flag out so far. It looks like DJ's on the last lap as he heads down into turn 4 now. He'll have another lap around to take this one. 3.5, almost 4 seconds on Ken Housel in 2nd place, and then another 9 seconds back to Dylan Newhart in 3. So our top 3 podium cars pretty well set. The battle right now is for that first spot just outside of the podium, which is 4th, being held by Montello.
Well, it looks like we found another battle, and this time it's going to be between Albert and Reed Shannonbrook. So the guys going side by side, as that looked like the white flag for those gentlemen there, as they're still going hard at it, ladies and gentlemen. So it's going to be a last lap shootout for these guys. We're going to try and stay with them. We kind of want to see them having a battle, and yep, there you go. That's exactly what Chris Harp needed. Is he going to be able to get it done? That's not Chris Harp, it's Albert. That's the 2nd time I've done that. Sorry, my apologies. Albert there, the Pennsylvania driver, able to take advantage of that mistake and move himself up not only into 11th place, but he's also tied for the hard charger.
Yeah, I think Albert Go and Chris Harp have similar paint schemes, so easily to switch them up between the 2 of them. But we pick up the leader, DJ Alessandrini, heading through the final corners. 2 more to go, and then he'll be picking up the checkered flag here, and it'll be another win in the books for DJ Alessandrini at Belle Isle. He's rocking the Red Bull Aston Martin paint scheme, driving a BMW. That's almost blasphemy, but we'll let him get away with it this week.
But you see there, Alessandrini able to come across the line in first for Ken Housel 2nd, and Dylan Newhart in the Dylan the Rock, Dwayne the Rock Johnson paint job today. And let's have a look back at this battle here, because it's going to be where all the action is. And honestly, I think the guy to watch is going to be this guy. It's going to be Colin Denner. If anybody's going to push, it's going to be him. But we're going to go between him. Well, there's just so much to go. And ladies and gentlemen, I think that was a checkered flag for these guys. Yep. Not able to make a move. I thought they was going to fight a little bit harder. And yet, even though the flag's gone, Denner looking to make a move. But Zoo has gone absolutely tank slapped it. Collides with Denner. Definitely not what he had in mind.
A couple of after race shenanigans. Nobody's going to really worry too much about that, but real hard charging battle between those 5 drivers we saw at the end. They battled for the majority of the race. Zippy, was nice to see a lot of tough battles back and forth. Nobody really able to take advantage of the tight confines of Detroit, but they all managed to get to the line without taking each other out, which is nice to see.
Oh, absolutely. Looks like there's still just a couple of cars left across the line. I don't have the results in just yet. They're certainly an interesting race indeed. Definitely not one of my favorite tracks, but I've got to say these guys look like they had a lot of fun. I've got to say shout out to Zarelef as well for sending me pictures of his toys. It's fair to say he's a boxer engine enthusiast, or at least he just likes doing head gaskets. I think pretty sure anybody who's car related would have picked up on that. But you can see here, checkered flag, ladies and gentlemen, and we're still waiting. There we go. Race results have just come in. Rob, do the honor, sir.
Certainly. We, as we mentioned, we saw DJ take the win pole to pole on this one. Ken Housel in second. Dylan Newhard with the rock meme paint scheme. I guess you could say, can you smell what Newhard was cooking? Was a top 3 finish. Anthony Montello in 4th, holds off Will Long in 5th and Kevin Zhu in 6th. Mike Leader in 7th, Colin Denner in 8th, Ryan Carwell in 9th. Michael Montello recovers up into the top 10. Albert Go in 11th, Reed Shannonbrook comes home in 12th, Chris Harp in 13th. Louis Lacey just inside the top 15 in 14th, Eddie Kekrakis in 15th. Adam Kobach just outside the 15th, top 15 looking at 16th place. Cameron Guth in 17th, Felix Barati in 18th, John Holloway in 19th, and Jarrett Page, we saw him go out early, finishes 11 laps down.
And then Paul Darling did not take to the start. Look, bit of a shame there. By all means, Paul, come out and run the race with us. So we'd certainly love to see you on board. But ladies and gentlemen, it does indeed mean it is getting to interview time. Let's have a quick look to see who we've got. Oh my, you guys are notoriously bad for coming in for interviews. I love you dearly, but we want to talk to you guys. Come on in. I know Ryan, we will give a bit of a hall pass today, as ladies and gentlemen, Ken Housel is going to grace us with his presence in just one short moment. Rob, if you want to drag it up, look at that. I think they got the hint. We got 1, 2, and 3. I'll tell you what. Let's start at 3rd place. We'll start with Dylan Newhard, the Rock himself, and start on do it in that kind of fashion. Rob, if you would do the honor, sir.
Oh yeah, welcome in, Dylan. We just were taking a look at your paint scheme earlier, and we want to know if you were smelling a top 3 finish with the rock theme, or plans didn't quite go awry, and you were looking for more of a spot at the top of the podium here. How did your race go?
Well, I thought that was a great race, Rob. I'm gonna be completely honest. I went into it, I wasn't feeling great, and then in the practice session before this, I kind of figured it out a little bit, and then my qualifying lap, I'm not sure what happened there, but that was a really good lap for me. And then the start, it was good, and then I was up to 2nd, and then Michael made a mistake, which is understandable on this track. It's really easy to do so, and then just kind of stayed in 3rd for the rest of the race.
Yeah, what were you seeing there when you saw Montello going deep into turn 4? Were you did you see him at all, or was it just kind of a reflex thing at the last second as we were watching as it happened live?
Well, I kind of saw him move to the inside, and then I didn't. I'm braking as late as I can, and when someone's going a lot deeper down the inside and you're inside, you kind of realize that you're gonna have to move out of the way, and I had to let Ken take the place.
Yeah, he did a nice job avoiding him, but like you said, unfortunately, you had to toss up the spot to Ken Housel, and it looks like you kind of settled into 3rd spot. The 3 of you, DJ, Ken, and yourself, were able to, for the most part, run away from the field, as we saw later on Colin Denner have a little bit of the same thing that we saw between Montello there running off in the end. So how much experience do you have with the Detroit Belle Islands? No, it's not a track that a lot of drivers really love. It's kind of the love-hate scenario. They really like it or you really hate it. Do you have much experience with Detroit before tonight?
No, this was actually my first. I actually bought the track probably on Monday or Tuesday. So this is my first time driving it, but I've really enjoyed it. I think it's a lot of fun to drive.
Well done. Picking up the track earlier this week, learning it, and getting yourself on the podium. Can't ask for much better than that. So congrats, Dylan. Anybody you want to give a shout out to tonight before we let you go?
No, I think I'm good. Thank you, Rob. Thank you, Zippy.
Thanks, Dylan. We'll see you next week.
You as well.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that indeed was our third place finisher, Dylan Newhart. Now, I've been able to catch up with the one and only. Ladies and gentlemen, he makes his return here, not only to WDCR after having a little bit of an absence, which we will forgive him, despite, we've already torn him a new one for that in the nicest of ways. But, ladies and gentlemen, your second place finisher today, Ken Housel. Ken, tell us a little bit about how Detroit was for you.
Man, that was... So I had no practice until tonight, so
boy.
I was like, oh, we'll see what happens. And then, like, didn't really have tons of pace, was like top 5, top 6 or something in practice, and I was sort of surprised by the pace in qualifying. I'm like, oh, okay. And then in the race, I went faster than I went all night, and I'm like, I don't understand what just happened, but okay. But had a ton of fun. This car track combo, yeah, it's bouncy and whatever, but honestly, really fun. I don't know how you would pass here other than people in front of you trying to pass and pushing each other off track, which, thanks, guys. That was a good way to get into second.
Well, certainly Ken Housel able to benefit there from attrition, and certainly as the league admin, he's going to be keeping that in mind. Certainly, we've seen the M2B, a little bit of a challenging car to make some passing moves in. That does make me very excited to see what is coming up next season. Certainly, if you've got any spoilers, by all means, let us know or let me know. Certainly, I'm keen to find out what's going to be happening for the next season of WDCR. But currently, we are on round 7, I believe. Round 7, round 6.
Yeah, round 7.
7.
Well, one of them was non-points, but yeah, so 7.
We've got a ways to go.
Yeah, we have some races left.
Well, certainly, ladies and gentlemen, it's been an absolute pleasure so far. I've thoroughly enjoyed not only working alongside Ken, but certainly seeing the man race. And actually, I did see you in a broadcast race the other day. One of the streamers I follow was in there, and he actually beat you, I'm afraid. It was at Bathurst, so I have a feeling you may have done what Bathurst does to people and just got absolutely murdered. But certainly, a fantastic result for you this evening. Second place. Ken, before you let you go, actually, do you want to tell us a little bit about what you do in the SCCA? Actually, I got to view that video the other day, and I'm like, Ken, is that your wife? And it turns out it was.
Yeah, so I've done a lot of stuff locally. So I'm our region's chief course designer, and my wife is the chief of waivers. So she takes care of all the making sure people are signed in, and so we can get insurance for the day and whatnot. And yeah, other than that, just try to help novices as much as possible and have fun. I mean, that's why we're here, having fun, right?
Well, I've got to agree with that, absolutely. And certainly, if you want to check out the video and try and check out Ken as well, he's a incredibly tall gentleman who is built like a brick shithouse, ladies and gentlemen, in the nicest of ways. But he's up there on the SCCA website. So, I think Mazda was involved in that as well. I've got to say, actually, the manufacturers who get involved and appreciate motorsport, Mazda's pretty friggin' high up there. So, a huge thanks to them as well. But Ken, for now, we're going to let you go. Anybody you'd want to give a shout out to before we move on to the race winner, TJ Alessandrini?
Yeah, give a shout out to my wife. Like you said, she was fantastic in the video, and she's a fantastic person, and she's somewhere in the other room, I think. But and then otherwise, yeah, like you said, shout out to Mazda. They're fantastic.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, Ken playing the smart card there, shouting out his wife, and I've got to say, a very smart card indeed. Certainly, we're going to have to see if she can get up on the rig, and certainly she's got a good teacher. If you wanted to get some coaching, Ken would be a very good man for that. Certainly, at least I think he would anyway, with such incredible pace throughout the season. But Ken, thank you very much, and we're looking forward to seeing you for round 8.
Yep, thanks guys, see you next week.
Thank you very much. Well, it looks like DJ Alessandrini has just disappeared. He was here just a moment ago. Oh dear. He's had to run. So, ladies and gentlemen, I guess that's it for the interviews for today. Certainly, it's definitely a fun round. We'll put the car on him for just a moment. There you go. We can do that. A little bit of a compromise, and we will forgive him his absence, ladies and gentlemen. Just kind of shows up, wins the race, and ducks out. But that's all right, ladies and gentlemen.
What a guy.
What a guy, eh? Let's like full on eat and run. And you know what? He didn't even save leftovers for me. But certainly a good job there by DJ Alessandrini. But I think that's pretty much going to wrap it up from us. I've just realized we never actually went through the schedule, and we never actually went on our cam. So you know what? Let's flick to the cameras a second here. If it feels right that you guys should suffer us for just a few short moments at least, as we see here. It's great to be back. Certainly, I look forward to Mondays now. Like who gets to say that they look forward to Monday? Certainly the WDCR always bringing absolutely fantastic racing, and certainly the championship battle as well. really, really heating up. But Rob, I'm trying to remember where we're heading to next. Certainly we can have a look at the schedule very quickly. Yeah, let's do that. Let's
VIR. We're heading to VIR.
Oh, you see, that is a Zippy approved track. Now, Rob, I don't know how much you've driven the M2. From what I remember, it's definitely not one of your favorite cars, we'll say the least. I did take it for a spin at Summit Point myself this week, and I did find it was incredibly challenging. But how do you feel about the M2 at VIR? What would be, some advice you could give maybe the guys at home for tackling that kind of obstacle?
VIR is actually the first track I drove the M2 at Zippy in week 13 last season when they brought it out. It was either the first or second track that iRacing put that combo together. So it was actually a pretty fun combo. I think it's a great car for that track. It's tough to drive, but the corners at VIR are very high speed, sweeping corners, which the M2 really does well with. It's the heavy braking where you're transferring a lot of weight to the front end of the car where it gets real loose on the back end that the M2 doesn't really like. So as they head up into the roller coaster section of VIR, it's going to be a little tricky, a little challenging, and the top of the snake will be a little challenged. But I think otherwise, we've seen the drivers all throughout the season show a whole lot of skill handling the M2. So I don't suspect we'll see them struggle all that much with the Zippy.
Well, that's certainly, I'm going to be inclined to agree with that. Certainly myself, I am a big fan of VIR. It's on the Princess approved track list, but we should probably bring this show to an end. Certainly it's been an absolute belter. Ladies and gentlemen, you've been joining us here for round 7 of the WDCR SCCA Virtual Racing League. And again, a huge thanks to the sponsors as well. Can't do it without them. As we have a look there, I've lost the link. I'm in the wrong browser window. There we go. Ladies and gentlemen, so RP Performance, again, huge thanks to them, OG Racing, Radial Tire Company, and Belmont Classic Cars. Certainly if you want to get that Chevelle, a Mustang. Again, we're getting into the Chevy versus Ford kind of discussion here, and I think the Chevy's actually built better, but you know what? I'd still want the Mustang, you know. It's gonna mow people over in the crowd, I just hope it's my enemies that are stood there, ladies and gentlemen. Certainly that's not the reason to buy a classic car, but if it just happens to happen, you know, enjoy the moment. But I think that's gonna be it from us, ladies and gentlemen, on that rather sinister note, ladies. But I gotta say, oh, hang on a second here. Thanks for the love, guys. Ken's a crazy talent driver and an even better coach. Amy, that must be Mrs. Ken then. Nice to meet you, Amy. Thank you again for tuning into the stream. And he's a smart man. He said thank you very much to you. So, smart man. Very smart man there. But I think that's going to be it from us anyway. My name, I guess, is and has and always will be Daniel Zippy Salmon. And joining me in the booth today was Mr. Rob, Double Apex Gaming Campbell. We need to think of a better way of phrasing that. Certainly, if you want to see Rob on YouTube and him racing, check out Double Apex on there. If you want to see me on Twitch, you can check that out as well, Zippy on the mic. And we do have a little announcement coming very soon. There's going to be a second channel coming very soon. And it's fair to say it's going to be a little bit out there. But for now, I think that's it from me. I think that's all from Rob.
Yeah, let's wrap this one up.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for tuning in. And we'll see you in 1 week's time for more WDCR.